Welcome everyone for the evening discussion, and today is our 6th day. And there are 2 written questions I'll start with, and while it is going on, if you have any comments or any more questions or statements, welcome. The first question goes like this: based on this morning sermon, I would be most grateful if you could clearly clarify the following. What is the mental state during laughter? Is it a defilement? This is called Hasitotpada Chitta. In Pali it called that how the mind make laughter. It's also kind of a bubble in the mind. There are some incidents where even the Buddha made that kind of a laughter. And there, when the Balananda was very sharp to see was how this kind of ad hoc or quick thing happened into the Buddha's mind. There's one very, how do you call this, very dramatic event. In the Theravada tradition, we believe the past life and the reincarnation kind of thing. And Buddha is referring to the last Buddha in his lineage, that is Buddha the Kassapa. And during that time, there was an incident. He was a high caste Brahman family young person known as Jyotipala, and he has another person is a potter, considered to be low caste, but very close with the Kassapa the Buddha. The Jyotipala, the high caste person, do not know. He don't know that there's a Buddha in the world. But the potter, he was the main devotee. But anyway, somehow the other Jyotipala and this potter became friends. One day Jyotipala paid a visit to this potter, and he wanted to introduce this gentleman, the young man, to the Buddha. So he made a general statement telling the one great person is there, known as the Kassapa. He appear to be enlightened. I am highly devoted and highly convinced, so therefore are you ready to go to him and have a talk? Then the Jyotipala Sakati told, whatever arises, you are believing 100%, you are so mad. I am not so mad. I won't go. And then the potter came to know he has presented the idea in the wrong time, so he kept silence. And again, after taking a kind of a time, again he asked, I am telling seriously, the person I am talking is a fully enlightened. I am happy, so you being one of my friends, why don't you come with me? He told, I told you once, you are such a believer, everyone happening here and there, the mushrooms life, you go and believe. I am not that kind. Don't come out with it. I came to visit, paid a visit to you. No. Second time. Then again the potter became very disappointed, telling that his second strategy also is vain. So he told, so we'll go to the river and have a bath. Okay. Then he went there, and again the potter is thinking, he's my best of my friends, and if I can't introduce him to the Buddha, what is it? It's lost of the opportunity, and he can't prevent. But he catch hold the hair, the long hair of the Jyotipala, and told, you have to come. And then Jyotipala thought, he's being the low caste person, catching my head. What is moving him in such a strong way? There may have something. Twice he gave a formal invitation, this is manhandling. So he told, never mind, okay, you go. So going there, I had the chance to meet the Kassapa the Buddha. Immediately the Jyotipala became a monk. He never come back. Till that he was so vehemently refusing. So in this life, once he became enlightened, he is going with Ananda. One day he was going in that place, and the laughter came to his mind. This is the place where his friend caught him and take them in. But Ananda went and asked, it is something abnormal for the Buddha to have laughter. Then he told, this is the place, I am destined to be the next Buddha. My friend was so wholeheartedly suggesting me the best man in the world, but I vehemently refused.
That is this Buddha.
Yeah. Gautama the Buddha, then while remembering, laughter came to his mind. So this kind of thing extraordinary. Otherwise the laughter is considered as something unruly or how do you call that? If the laughter is happening quickly, it is a lack of control. It's a lack of discipline or lack of, not the discipline, lack of control. So therefore in the strict terms, the laughter is something that beyond your control, it is considered as something not nice. You have to excuse me because I am laughing all the time. And so that means my sense that I am not trying to control it. But anyway, it's a purification of the blood and all the kind of thing. But laughter is when coming due to a proper reason, you can't stop it. It happens. But when you are in the real concentration and in the mindfulness, slowly this uncontrollable situation reduces, and therefore this is also asking verily, is it a defilement? At a time it is yes. The uncontrolled laughter is indicator of a lack of control. So therefore, in our constitution, there is one stanza, Nihitamattanti vattati. It's just opening the lips and giving a how do you call it, not a smile. Not the laughter, but a smile. Smile is accepted because you can't prevent, but it is coming, it is just an expression, but the laughter is considered as something childish or something. Not very bad or not very defilement, but not highly rated. Second one is that what is the chitta or the consciousness experience during Anapanasati meditation when it is when it chitta person when it refer to chitta parisamvedi. This is also a kind of a place. So I have to draw your attention to this particular discourse. So you find in the Majjhima Nikaya the whole set of instructions given in this particular sutta which refer to in-breath and out-breath. Only one object taken, and it is from the commoner's point of view after the final deliverance. And there are different stages of Anapana. The breath has been indicated. Out of 16, the first 4 tetrads are considered to be related to the mental materiality. Second tetrad related to the feelings. Third one is for the mind. Fourth one is mental objects, Dhamma Anupasana. So in the third tetrad, it starts with Chitta Patisanvedi Asasisamiti Sikkati, Chitta Patisanvedi Pasasisamiti Sikkati. It says the contemplating or being aware of the mind as such, he keep on restraining with in-breath and out-breath. So that means for the first time you see the datum layer, the bare rock bottom of the mind, without blips, without bubbles, without ripples. The calm mind you can see. In the traditional way or in the conventional way, it says you are experiencing the jhanic experience, jhanic mind that is fully absorbed and therefore no hindrances, and therefore that for the first time you understand the contrast between the mind defiled and you are not yet fully enlightened, but concentration wise it is established. But later came to know you can develop the mind, you can advance even without jhanic absorption. Under such circumstances, what does it mean by Chitta Patisanvedi? I would say pragmatically, when you come up to that level, you will say everything is mind-made, no matter available. Everything is mind-made. As if going against the law, the Buddhism accepts the mind cannot exist or mentality cannot exist without the materiality. Materiality cannot exist without the mentality. They are reciprocal each other or interdependent each other, but the materiality come up to such a refinement at that stage, you never feel any hint toward the hardness, softness, heat, cold, movements and steady, fluidity or cohesiveness. They are gone to the bare minimum, so you only feel the mentality. That is the pragmatic way one can interpret when we are in the Chitta Patisangvedi. It happens after the Pasambhaya Chitta Sankara. Once you go on to the bare minimum level of feelings and perception, that is the way you will expose to the Chitta Patisangvedi state, that is feeling only the mentality. It is also pure and how do you call that? A fish going to understand it is in water now. Usually fish never understand water. But now at that stage, fish going to understand now I am in water. Or otherwise, you have awakened into a dream. Dream is something completely delusion. But imagine if you can awaken into the dream that I am in a dream, you get all the extrasensory perceptions. You can fly, you can hear, everything is there. So this is also something like that you go completely into the mentality, and it is, I think, quite telling with Mano Pubbangama Dhamma, Mano Setta Manomaya. Everything, forerunner is the mind, Mano Pubbangama, Mano Setta, the supreme thing is the basic thing is the mind, and everything is mind-based. So this is a kind of a transition in between, so that that to say that materiality has weaned off or tapered off or worn out to the bare minimum, everything appears like completely empty, but the being, the existence is there, no friction. You can feel a consistent kind of experience. It is how to call it, undeniable kind of experience. The third one in the Anapanasati Sutta, why does Chitta Patisangvedi Asisami Shikkati, Passasisami Shikkati, when the Kaya Sankara has already skipped and one is not actively breathing, is or not. So this is a fairly good challenge, how one can still restrain according to the breath if the breath has unperceivable. But one can say, when you go up to that level, you have no other hope. If at all, you will go to the breath, otherwise you are ready to accept nothingness. You are not entertaining doubts, mind is not falling to sleep, not going to open your eyes, but waiting, breath has completely gone, but that is the only last landmark you get, otherwise no hope. That means still you have a kind of a lingering sign of where the breath was absent now. Breath is not there, but the sky is there where it was disappeared. That is the only hope you are taking. There is no other thing. That means mind is mind is very steady. It is not wavering. It is not how to call by chance.
No doubt.
No doubt. If at all the breath will be there, if it is not there, no problem. That is how you have to treat.
And you don't want to go anywhere.
That is
just accept the situation as it is.
That is say enough. That I am not hoping for something to achieve or something like that. This is itself is the least frictional way. It is as if the spacecraft has gone beyond the gravity. Now it is directed and fired, it's go directly. There is no something to make friction. No any atoms. So it is directed, it's going. So that is, there the Buddha still refer that situation with respect to the breathing.
No, Anapana is gone there.
No, if it is so, you have to die. You are not dead.
No. Yeah, what I mean, when you don't feel the anapana,
Yeah.
it's still happening, but you don't...
You unperceivable. It has gone to the bare minimum, just like a car is in the idle running. You can't feel it.
Yeah.
But if you are going to restart, you are damaging. The present day cars, the idle running, you can only see the lights in the dashboard, but you can't feel. Early cars are when the idle running, so it's not well harmonized. But present day cars not. It is idle running, but you know, therefore you are not going to restart thinking that you can't stop. So likewise, you know, idle running is there. It is not giving any sign except the proper switch, the light indicator. That's enough for you. So you let the idle running happen. That is the least frictional way of experiencing the present moment. Venkata, with regard to your talk in Chittanupassana, could you please explain as to how one become aware of presence or absence of delusion in the mind? Is it easy to understand the same with greed and aversion? Thank you. So this is when there is a delusion, kind of a hope is there, may I attain Nibbana, may get this and that. When you are come up to that level, if you are feel enough, if you feel contented, that's a kind of a wisdom. That is the only justifiable point where you can release yourself and just get. But still may not be you are fully enlightened, but there is no future planning. There is no projections. So therefore you feel contented. That is more towards the wisdom. But still if you say, what is the state? Am I in the samatha condition, or am I in the vipassana condition? Is this the final, or can I go further? Or these kind of everything indicating ripples, bubbles, or blips, blinks. That means the signs of ignorance, signs of craving, signs of desire. So that is also you have to master by familiarizing it again and again. Then only you can come up there and not challenging it, not going to exploit it. Just be there, and that indication, that's a kind of an indication. Mind become more mature, mind become more towards the, the wisdom or lack of ignorance. There you have to see, when the ignorance is there, either greed or aversion is there. When there is aversion or greed, you are not happy at that state. You expect something, you have some kind of a resistance. So therefore, the ignorance will manifest in terms of liking to go quickly or achieve something more and kind of thing, or feel bored. Feel, what is this after all, I am going to get nowhere. This is what I am, my aim or something like that. You have a critical analysis, critical approach or future plans. Also, could you please say whether the mind is free of defilements when in the state of adukkama sukha? You can't say when you go to the adukkama sukha, mind is free of defilements. You can say defilements are reducing slowly. Comparatively, you go to the least friction, you go to the less and less defilements, so therefore more and more you appreciate adukkama sukha, no pleasure, no pain kind of experience. But it's a matter of time. By maturity only, slowly, so you wean off, you let the defilements to wear and tear, and therefore huge amount of time, or time aspect is there. So you are just not, by going there, you are achieving the maximum, or the best. You have to let the mind to familiarize this no pleasure, no pain situation, and more familiarizing, you go to the very deep layers. So that's all as far as the written questions are concerned. Both of them are related to the morning talks. If you have any other things suitable for discussion, please.
When you know that there is no aversion or greed, is it the same as no delusion.
No ego, no measurements, no time, no space, no rational mind, no questions. You are there. There you are.
You accept the present moment.
Not you accept. You are not there.
Yeah, you are not there to accept. Yeah, correct.
It's just being.
Yeah, just being.
Difficult to cope with. Because that through rational mind maybe, but mind you, when you keep on meditating, you will be going back to your home. One day you will be at home.
When we discuss about these things, I compare it to a mountain, that we are going to climb the mountain now. This is the top of the mountain that we can reach. We are bottom of the mountain. And we should not, we are talking about the top of the mountain. Still we are bottom. And we are trying to climb the mountain now. Before we climb the mountain, we are coming to the expectation. And we are talking about this, analyzing about this, what we are meeting on the mountain, and automatically we come to the expectation, oh, I will better to see this. And maybe in the middle, you don't see what you have expected, and then you get disappointed. Can it be happen these things?
Yeah, that is basically you can put into the motivation. When you are at the bottom of the mountain, to go up there should have a motivation. Otherwise you will never try. So therefore at the beginning of the spiritual quest, there is a big motivation. Not to, it is beyond your economical, political and other gains. It has to have a more, narrow, more confirmed or profound kind of a motivation to go against the grain and to climb this mountain. But when you keep on the climbing, the very motivation also undergoing the evolution, wear and tear. The very motivation also evolving. More and more you go to the top, the motivation also weaned off. There is no motivation. It is happening due to the, I would say, due to your seasoning. You go, the finishing part, there is no motivation to become a happening. Early part, lot of doings are there. The end part is more happenings.
So the person who has gone to this place, in the sense, nothing and not want to go, but still has anger in day-to-day life. So how do correspond these two things,
That
when you meditate,
you can have,
yeah.
But that is what I say, that when you come up to that level, the four things can happen. The irritation, fault finding, disappointment and pedantic nature. That is the way you are preparing yourself for the new paradigm.
What I say is day-to-day life.
So day-to-day life, you are very sharp become. So therefore you are not allowing anyone to do any mistake, you will get very agitated.
Yeah.
And you find fault with the even trivial things. And anything bad happens, you become disappointed. What I'm doing all the kind of, still I have this. And you become pedantic, everything must be neat work to do. That is because that your mind is going to an unknown sphere and it is acclimatizing now.
So getting angry with other people for their...
it can be a self-hatred also.
Yeah.
That is why the fault finding happened. So therefore, for a person who has already achieved, see, these are the symptoms of progress. For the beginner is now in a jam. In the meditation he is in the somewhat perfect situation, but we go home and in the working place and a lot of friction. And there he is become very sensitive. But those people, those who are not doing any meditation these days, earlier he was very good, now he is running mad. And the criticism happens. But the enlightened being understands this is a kind of a symptom. He is now changing. He is going on. Therefore, on that particular person, those who are not meditating have a different view. But those who have meditation have sympathy. He is undergoing. So my example is when a woman becomes pregnant, their likings and disliking, behavior and everything is different. Those who have, the mothers sympathize with. But those who do not know, they have, it is a point to be sarcastic. So therefore at that time the elderly people come and do the protection. It is not they are in the traditional society do not expose to the males. It has become a female problem, they will take care. So likewise in the meditation also when such thing happens, the senior meditators never criticize them, telling, don't try to get much of interaction with others, minimize your interaction, this is something, some symptoms, in the sense positive.
But still to understand a woman is tough.
You are taking my example in the wrong way. I gave an example.
That he should work on. It's one of the things that he should learn in life.
Yeah. So that is I don't know how to give that exercise.
No, logics.
Yes.
A completely different question. How, according to Buddhism, would you describe how a personality establishes through all the reincarnations?
Personality establishment means the confirmation. You are going to frame your personality.
Yeah, how would you, like the present moment, how the personality establishes?
Establishment is going against the changing nature, anicca concept. So therefore, if you have nicca sanya, that means perception of permanence, you will have an image about your personality. But the Buddha says that is the way people are developing images, that is the way people are developing the personalities, but he give an antithesis, everything is changing. Then what is the meaning of establishment or what is the meaning of personality?
But, I mean, apart from the fact that the personality isn't real, but still it is a fact that people have sort of character traits which are very dominant more than others. For instance, during the other Dhamma talks talking about altruistic personalities or self-regarding personalities or inequality of others. So there is a distinguishment between people, and you will never find someone who is exactly like you.
So the answer is, it is not something you do, it is something happening to you. It's some precipitation due to your likings and disliking, that ultimately you accept, this is my personality trait, he also accepts. But you have no control about it. It is something happening rather than you do. That is why the scientists say that your life is a already filmed DVD. Nothing you can do, you can only see what is going to next happen.
So it's like subject to randomness.
It's a total random. But the thing is, we assume it as that I did it. It is not. You have to accept it is something happened. Due to so much of variation. Present moment is where you can just crisscross at that moment. Usually it is belongs to the past. That is something happened, and then either you can accept it as me or you can accept it as a coincidence. Accepting it as a coincidence is the radical reflection the Buddha is asking. Don't claim, I am so and so. Say, yes, it is there, but next moment, I don't know the competition. It can be, it is subject to changes. That is the first and foremost thing. Aniccata, viparinamata, the evolving nature. What I am relating to his question is, so we are placing an aim or objective as Nibbana to achieve that, giving up all the kind of going after renunciation, but very Nibbana also evolving as you are practicing. That is, this is the only model, your objective is evolving. All the other things, object is fixed. You have to become a billionaire or you have to become a political leader. Objective is fixed. But here Buddha never tell it, but you have to understand it. Even your object is changing. Therefore the acclimatization, how to call this, fitting into this situation is highly challenging. You have to fit into this volatile situation, and therefore only the human can do this. All the others are fixed with the instinct. The animals are, their capacities are fixed. due to their instincts. But the human, in the evolution, there is a kind of a crisscross situation. If you are ready, if you are, radical and risk lover and ready to take it up, you can be up to that level. Otherwise, whenever you become conservative and kind of thing, you are always putting up your personality, your image on the big pedestal, always whitewashing your own pedestal, your own image. That is what the world is. But the Buddha says, this what the image that you have created is just momentary. The pedestal you put up is your ego and your conceit. So therefore, whitewashing is it's a habitual way of human, but you can think differently. These things are changing. These things are volatile, and still our mind can acclimatize it. I mean, develop mind or a trained mind can acclimatize into that. So it is just like the Zen Buddhism, it says it is like water. It can take the shape of any vessel. It is not asking, I must have this kind of a seat. It become water. Water-like, that our mind is known as water. The adamant mind is like solid. So it is asking its own shape. But the water never asks. So that we are developing the mind, the water-like one. We see the possibility to fit into the situation rather than going to change the system.
Is the mind feminine or masculine?
Good question.
Because the body we can find out, but...
So Hinduism, it says Eko, Brahma Padartha. At the Brahma Padartha there is no sex. Eko means that's no duality. No good and bad, no just and unjust. Everything is coming from the unity. Coming from the singleness, Advaita. And then only, even in the Sattasuriya Gamana Sutta, the Buddha says the first being came into this earth. They have no any sex, they have no any gross body, they have the light as their body, and they can fly like the Kanamadiru.
Buddha also said like something.
Yeah. And that's early beings live upon the happiness as their food. Piti Bakka, Antalikachara, and light is...
Even the bacteria has no feminine and masculine.
And even the protozoa and these kind of things, there are some rudimentary stages, but science still is searching whether the life or the RNA, DNA evolved within this world or it came from outside. So at the beginning they were thinking it is due to chemical shocks and all the kind of thing. RNA, DNA is happening within and then evolve into the single cellular and go on. But the Buddha presented when the world become nice hotbed, then the outside beings came. That very being came first, had no any male and female. They were Piti Bakka, Antalikachara, Sayampabha.
It's written like this?
Yes. The very first one is Antalikachara, that is flying. Sayampabha, they have emitting their own light. Piti Bakka, living on their own happiness, contentment.
So their food is happiness?
Yeah. Premi Mage Ahare Kila Jyotiwala Kiwa, Arabala Kiwa, Santosi Mage
Buddha said
that is in Sattasuriya Gamana Sutta, and the two suttas talking about the evolution, also the beginning of the earth and the end of the earth, and even then the Buddha says, what I am telling is, even this very earth, it is so big, it has the beginning and the end of beginning, the middle and the end. So whatever the small trivial thing you take for granted, everything has the beginning, the middle and the end.
And this did not have a corporate, the body didn't have.
No, that
only
is
energy.
Light
Energy.
Sayampabha.
So how did the body develop then with time and ignorance?
So at the beginning they were doing that, and the earth was just like ice cream. It's a very sweet ice cream, but they originally had no idea of eating because their life, the contentment was their food. But one cracky fellow went there and licked it. And then only the body became cross and slowly, and then they wanted to have, this is my cream, not don't come and tackle, and then the envy and the jealousy and everything happened. The mind also became a lot of ripples, body also become more cross, more heavy, and sink down to the earth. Earlier they were just floating. It's a long story telling that ultimately came to the rice and everything, and people have plots and fence and dowry and all the kind of thing happened. But from it is coming from the contentment onward, and now we have come to the point where we are fighting each other, killing each other, and all that.
When did the Buddha tell these stories to whom?
I think it is his own this thing to indicate, to emphasize the term sankhara. Each sankhara has the beginning, the middle and the end. So therefore he told the world system itself has the beginning, the middle and the end. You can't understand because your life is so short, but the Buddha can remember the past, therefore he can say the evolving world system and dissolving world system, that is also subject to the same character of all Dhamma Rupa, that is to say, the beginning has middle and the end. That's a common characteristic of both Dhamma and Rupa.
I have a question. Why our mind always interested to know about the other things out of ourselves? And it doesn't ask us a question to know who I am, what I am doing, and more than that, more than to kind of myself, it's interesting always other things from outside, to observe the things, or to explore the things. From that we are trying to know something. But the Buddha said exactly, from you can see the world, but the mind is always jumping there and jumping there and jumping there. We are trying always to find out something from outside, and I don't know.
So the person, he was very serious about this question, was the Nissarana Maharaj. He lived in India. He passed away, and he said the most spiritual question is, who am I? That is the most revolutionary question. No one can answer, and ever you can be introvert. But instead, we amuse ourselves to fly kites to the past and the future, other places and other beings. So therefore we keep on busy throughout the life, never come back to the source. The term insight is also the connotating that your sight is turned inward. Insight. Vipassana is a kind of a extraordinary pasana, that our mind is naturally outwardly. So therefore, last time when I go to Perth, there were 65 people in the meditation. At the end, everyone is asking, what is your last, advice or last, before going. Then I told, mind your own business. Simply that is Vipassana. We are always minding other business. So endless. Ultimately Vipassana says, be here and now. So then, soon I go into the car, then again told Bhante, all 65 got together, you wish to come here and have a photo. So again it happened me to come and there. And then there's one very elderly white lady, she is asking, Bhante, before going, what is your advice? I told, mind your own business, I am going. It appeared like something horrible and sarcastic and hitting.
So that's the simple truth, no?
I mean, that is what the Buddha says. We are always thinking about children. thinking about the parents, thinking about the politicians and the actors and singers, whatever may be, not here and now. So therefore, if you wish to give a biggest task for your mind, ask it to be here and now.
But in answer to his question, is it not because we are here to satisfy these senses all the time throughout samsara that we are projecting ourselves outwards?
So that is why, how it happens. What is the cause for that? It is universal. Everyone is other directed, but no one gets satisfied. As the Rattapala, he says, Atitto Kamadaso, there are 3 terms. It is everyone dies unsatisfied. Everyone dies telling that not enough. And throughout that, we become slaves to the sexuality and sensuality. It's a proven fact, but still we do the same. So therefore he says, my renunciation is because the world is characterizing Atitto Kamadaso. That's yet another term. Telling that it is a given fact, the Buddha says, but we somehow or the other justify. No, I can see myself later, but for the moment I have to see how the wedding at the UK. I mean, it is the passing show. Then if I lose it, then seeing myself I can do later. And then that is finished. And then after the honeymoon, what is happening? So much of thing happen, ultimately you postpone your thing to the deathbed, and there you start meet with yourself. This is the most unknown thing for yourself. Who am I? And at the deathbed it is too late. So that is why the Buddha says, know it in terms of materiality, in terms of your mentality, and when you are at the prime age, if possible, focus to oneself and see, here, now, I am. That is why the Zen saying says, if it is not now, when? If it is not here, where? If it is not you, who? So then I put it in Sinhala, දැන් නෙවෙයි නම් කවද්ද යකෝ මෙතන නෙවෙයි නම් කොහෙද යකෝ මම නෙවෙයි නම් කවුද යකෝ කියලා හඳුනනවා. Don't translate it to the English at least. Yeah. Yes.
Sorry. Usually it said that there is no beginning and no end, right? But some minutes before now, I've heard there was a being, the Buddha said, maybe, there was one being without sex in the original times, that maybe was from that moment start that so many different and single feeling individuals could develop in their deluded egos and so on. With a thought like that, could that help in the Buddha Dhamma? Or is it a thought with what the Buddha or which the Buddha thought about, or that's a philosophy that doesn't interest for us, because I told there are 4 truths, suffer and the cause of suffer and the end of suffer and the noble path.
The first statement you said, there is no beginning, there is no end. As far as the sanskar is concerned, as far as the fabrications are concerned, as far as mental proliferations are concerned, there is a beginning, the middle and the end. But as far as the Nibbana is concerned, the final liberation is concerned, it do not understand the beginning, the middle and the end. I mean, ignorance have the beginning, the middle and the end, but lack of ignorance is not, we are falling into the time dimension, not falling into the space dimension. Whenever the repercussion happens, the turmoil happens, the friction happens, that has the beginning, the middle and the end. That means the delusion. That means the knot. That means the ignorance. It has beginning, the middle and the end. So whenever the Buddha the defining the Nibbana, it says Ajatang, Abhutang, Akatang, Asankatang. I mean in the Udana Pali, it is never born, it is never going to die, it is not done by something else, and it's a nature. That means the liberated mind. As far as the liberation is concerned, no beginning, no middle, no end.
And it is also not conditioned, no?
It is not conditioned, it is not cause and effect, it is the universal law. But as far as the ignorance is concerned, your fabrications are concerned, your volitions are concerned, your will is concerned, your emotions, the motivations are concerned, there's a beginning, the middle and end. It caught up into the time and space dimension. Going beyond this time and space dimension is the secret of the teaching of the Buddha.
So I have a question to that. So from the point that I understand it would be that the time aspect, we have the beginning, the middle and the end. So that's part of the Bhagavad, basically that everything has a duration and an end. And then the space aspect, since also the universe is infinite, then as soon as you would basically place something into the space, it only has an existence or it has a presence if the space is finite. But if it is infinite, then the object wouldn't have a presence, right? So basically, if from last time when I was there we talked that Nibbana was emptiness, then that would translate into the fact that it doesn't take a room in the space.
Yeah. So that the same thing you can explain in 5 examples, which relate to the matter, which relate to the feelings, which is the perception, which related with the sankhara, mental formations, and the vijnana. As far as the matter is concerned, the very example you cited is the matter and energy. Energy not falling into gravity, no shape, no manners. Whenever it collapses and becomes a matter, it assumes a gravitational force, assumes a shape and a manner. So, if the ignorance is matter, Nibbana is like energies with respect to the material. And the feelings are concerned, pain and pleasure has the beginning and the end, but the no pain, no pleasure situation, no beginning, no end, no end. So therefore, avoidable two extremes are the pain and the pleasure. What you see, what you must seek, the middle part is the no pain, no pleasure situation. It is the datum. And the perception is concerned, in the Kalavivada Sutta, the Buddha says, na sanya sanyi, no piya sanyi, na visanya sanyi, na vibhuta sanyi. You come to a perception where it is not the day-to-day perception, and you are not unconscious, and you are not in the neva sanya na sanyayatana jhanic situation, and you can't say no sanya also. There's a kind of a sanya available, that is what we call breath is becoming completely unperceivable. You are not in day-to-day sanya. You are not asleep. You are not fainted. You are not in neva sanya na sanya. There is, but our mind is rejecting, not ready to accept it. So that is gradually you Buddha bring you up to that point that in the discussion we talk Chitta Patisamveda, you come up to a point you can't explain, you can't put into words, so therefore you deny it. But Buddha says that is your real home. All the others are repercussions, all the others are frictions, all the others are situations. So instead of being 100% taking time about this normal sanya, why don't you, with respect to the normal sanya, go to that particular revolutionary kind of sanya. The day you understand that you are really at home there, that is the point you are going to change yourself. That is the point the real change is going to take place. And as far as the sankhara is concerned, all the volitions, all the will, all the motivation and all, everything going to make kind of a turmoils or how do you call it, whirlpools or rut in the smooth flow. When there is no ego, no volition, no will, everything, still the whole life is there. Yes?
Would you say Nibbana or enlightenment is happening?
Happening where?
No. This situation what you just explained, he's asking...
No, that I am telling with respect to the materiality, this is a glimpse of Nibbana. With respect to the feeling, this is the pathway to the Nibbana, you can get the glimpse of Nibbana. With respect to the perception, when there is no such a thing, yes, it's a kind of a glimpse. And the volition-wise also, everything is happening, but you are not involved, you are fully observant and fully vigilant, and there is a kind of a glimpse about Nibbana. And the Vijnana is not judgmental. You are not measuring this is this and this is that, this is the territory of this and this is the discrimination between the everything given up. You consider everything in the equal level. So Vijnana also losing its ground.
The Vijnana is Bebusai.
And that is the way when the Buddha is pressed to and asking how is the Nibbana, he gives this kind of epithets, examples. This is the way the rational mind can see irrational or something unconditioned, that is unexplainable. We have to do relative, we have to do only by examples. Because that a good example given is, the frogs, those who can live in the water as well as in the uplands, the frogs, when they lay eggs, the tadpoles comes, they are almost fish, like a fish. They never can go upland. So when the tadpoles see the mother is around in the water hole, they are very happy. But all of a sudden there is a time periods are there, mother is not there. So whenever she come back, the tadpoles come and telling us, mother, where were you? She says, I went to uplands. What? Uplands? How can we live in the upland? Because when we put it to the upland, we will die. So she says, wait and see, one day you will become a tadpole, the frog. That day you will understand. For the moment you have to take my word into account. You are a amphibian. At this episode, you are a fish. But when you are developing, you can go up there and then they will protest. We have 99%, 999 votes. You are wrong. But what the frog can say? Of course, the thousand and thousand tadpoles are there. They will say, mother is wrong, mother is irrational. She is just lullabying us. She is giving the mystics to keep us asleep. No, we are protesting, you have to show me, you have to tell me, you have to prove me. Then she will say, one day you will come and that day you will understand. So Nibbana also the same way, we can explain with respect to some examples. Yes?
The same thing I want to ask you. Most of times we are taking this whole Dhamma or the teaching of the Buddha off the table and trying to analyze one by one and one by one. At this moment we forget what the Buddha said in the beginning, come and see it yourself. And in this moment, of course, maybe delusion help us to analyze this whole thing. In the moment we forget. In the beginning what he said, and we are going up and up. It's like, again I come to the mountain and top of the mountain we are talking and we are on the water, and sometimes with weary effort we are going to the middle and we take off in the basalt and go around and see around what is going on there, and it break our journey to climb the mountain. And the Vipassana says, acknowledge all the things what is coming and go, reach the top of the mountain. And it happens for us. Always we forget the beginning of the Buddha, the beginning what he said. Just come and see. Even what I say, don't believe. When you see it, you have seen it. There will be no doubt, nothing. And you know it. There's nothing to talk about. You have seen it. Just climb next. Just climb. Continue climbing, and what you see, just acknowledge it and go up, go up, go up. Most of the times the ignorance helps us to stay there and observe all the things and talk the things, and that stop us to climb the mountain, I feel.
Only the counter argument for this thing is Vipassana never happens without listening to another person. So therefore you have to listen. You have to have a knowledge. So vipassana never happened to person by its own. Vipassana comes from the Buddha's teaching. So one day you have to have a books on the table, you have to learn.
No, I mean, to learn is completely okay. I mean, learn a little and practice it and see what you have learned.
You can't define the term little. It is you may be little, another person may be high. So he can't have a map. There is no such a thing. Trial and error is the only way.
Well, I also have a question. We refer back to the Brahmacharya principle. Brahmacharya principle that you explained earlier on. It sounds to me like morality and materiality has been there before craving.
So you have to say something like that. In the very famous three stanzas are there. Sabbe sankhara anicca, sabbe sankhara dukkha, sabbe dhamma anatta. So whatever the volitional thing you created, sankhara, it is impermanent. Whatever the volitional thing you do, it end up with suffering. But there is sabbe dhamma. Whether you do it volitionally or not, there are some, but it is not creating any suffering, so you have nothing to meditate upon it.
No, because you mentioned that there have been living beings at the very beginning, and the craving came later on when they tasted the earth. That's what happened.
No, that the beings, they came to the earth also have the potential. They have the seed, they have the anusayas. Otherwise, how they started, just like babies, they are behaving in the completely pure way, but the seeds are there. When you have the condition given, they develop hatred.
So that's not the very beginning, that means.
No, there is nothing very beginning you can go trace back into that. It is only the ignorance is the one Buddha can trace back and say ignorance is the starting point.
I have a question. What is the function of ignorance?
Ignorance is the lack of knowledge, or the darkness, or sometimes misunderstanding. Two folds: simple misunderstanding and simple unknowing and misunderstanding.
The cause for ignorance.
No, define the ignorance have two branches. One thing is simple simple unknowing. You don't know. The dangerous part is you believe you know. It's a misunderstanding. So whenever the ignorance is to be dealt with, you have to deal both the sides. This de-learning process is the most difficult part. What you think that you know, that is the part that is difficult to tackle.
Can you explain that a little bit more, because it can be very important for us, what you said last one, that to believe that we know, that make us to stop somewhere and not to go far.
Yeah. So that whenever Jnanananda, when he is putting this into an example, he says the compartment of the railway is meant for traveling, railway compartment. But in Sri Lanka, sometimes you keep the compartment out of the rail and use it as a temporary station, issuing tickets for the other people going. So that's the phrase. Before finishing your task, you try to help others, ultimately both of them in jam. So compartment is meant to keep it on the rail and run. That if instead if you keep it out and use it as a temporary station, that is what happens nowadays in the meditation world. Many half-hearted people have less experience teaching and training because so much of demand is there. So
it's a big danger.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous. So that is but anyway, who is to decide who is qualified or not? It's an open issue. So therefore, we have to run a certain amount of risk.
Is it possible to say that this feeling of no pleasure and no agreement is abstract? Like
I didn't get you. I didn't get you. You have to repeat, please.
Yes, this statement that there is no pleasure, this is a position of
no pain, no pleasure.
Pain, yes.
Yeah.
Can I say it is something like very abstract?
So you say the water has 14 pH and 1, 7 is the medium.
Well, I mean, we have also in the physics ideal gas, which is not reachable.
Yeah.
It is ideal. And maybe this position of no pain, no pleasure, it is also abstract.
Ego can't go there. When your ego go there, ego disappears.
I mean, for the normal people, I think it is not achievable.
Noble people means he who ever believes there is an I can't go there. When the ego is going there, it becomes rectified, it becomes volatile. It can't go to the ideal no pain, no pleasure situation. So one day, one person asked me, what is the most diluted form of acid? He said water. That is pH 7.
Is it not enough as a normal people just to recognize that it is only pain or pleasure? And if I recognize it, it is already enough to say that there should be something in the middle.
Definitely, once you accepted not only the pain and pleasure, there is another third option. No pain, no pleasure. First you accept on abstract term.
Yes.
Now it is in the theoretical level.
Yes.
And then you have to put into your thinking pattern, deductive knowledge and rational knowledge to see, can I accommodate the third dimension? The no pain, no pleasure. That means, whenever pain shifting into the pleasure, where is the gap? When the pleasure shifting into the pain, it is happening open. It's a dark spot, it's a black spot. So, for the moment you accept, that is the point that we can accommodate no pain, no pleasure. So now you are going to explore into that. Whenever the pain happens, you are not allowing your mind to be very elated and instead, you try to see why the tail end of the pain or pleasure. And how it changes into the pleasure. Before going into the pain and pleasure, or pain or pleasure, there is a kind of a conceivable gap.
So Swami, referring to that topic, if you understand that there is no space, then consequently you also understand that there cannot be awareness.
No space, it is not a thing we discussed. So, that we have to accept that space is there as far as ignorance is there. Time is there as far as ignorance is there. And when there is, your mind is come up to the unconditioned situation, you are bypassing, you are overcoming the space and time, but it is only for that particular moment, only valid to you, only valid here and now.
There is a sort of awareness, but cannot be described.
And if you are going to say the other person, you also have no time, you also have the no space, that you are unwantedly asking for trouble. Because he has not experienced it. So you have to understand our mind has two dimensions. One thing is fully in the ignorance, very solidified and concrete, space and time. And while practicing you can understand it is becoming weaker and weaker. Ultimately, the maximum is you really go beyond the time and space. Only the human mind can accommodate these two extremes. That does not indicate whole world is enlightened. The other being those who are accepting the time and space, see that, let them be.
But then sometimes when you are in the pain situation or in the pleasure situation, that's a sort of a space that you put the label on as long as you have the awareness.
Yeah.
But when the awareness is not there, then there is no space.
You can't say not the awareness. You can understand. You can aware beyond the space. That is the task Buddha is challenging you. You are starting from the space. You are starting from the awareness. There is a gross awareness. But Buddha says there is a kind of awareness that is not bounded by the time and space, by wear and tear of the available all craving, all matter and the name and matter, slowly going to known to unknown, from close to the subtlety, from ego to egoless situation. From
but
the ego,
what is there to be aware beyond space?
Yeah. That is what it says ineffable. That is what it says difficult to put into words. Difficult to put into examples. I mean, not really representative example, you can give a relative example. Difficult to put into the existing grammar.
I think the difficulty is we all can fathom out a condition. It's very difficult to fathom out a no condition. That's what happens, our minds are trained to fathom condition. So almost no condition is very difficult to fathom out,
So the example for what you are telling is the night sky is dark. But if there's a flying object, then you can see huge light is there, there's nothing to reflect it. If it is something to be reflected, if that object is not bright, but the available light will be reflected, because our mind only can see positivity. Our mind can't see negativity. So therefore, when the satellite is there, the satellite is not bright. A huge amount of sunlight is there, nothing to reflect upon. So therefore it appears like the space as dark. But the space is not dark.
But then, like the dark night, if you see the sky as a dark place, and then you have a light, then because of the light, you know that there is
a matter.
There's a dark sky. So without the light, how do you observe that there is the dark sky?
So for the person living in the earth can't. But the Buddha says, take this as a challenge, prove it. Don't accept by your mere faculties, mere by senses. Take this as another option. There is a darkness, there is a light, but there is nothing to reflect. And therefore, you can't deny by not seeing darkness, not seeing light, you can't deny there is no light. So that is the challenge. That is the kind of a radical challenge the Buddha gives. It is the gradual process. At the beginning, as I mentioned, theoretical, abstract, and then the rational knowledge. And here and there you can get the glimpses of meditation or under the nose experience, and slowly you shift from this 100% positivity to slowly into the negativity or non-existence.
I want to ask completely another question. Buddha said, only who the dangers of the life, he explains, it's really we all are in a real danger, and try to understand this danger, and it's time now to be Sotapanna. Sotapanna means so much it. And only the who is the Sotapanna, only he can understand or realize what I say. The other people who are not reached Sotapanna, they are having a kind of imagination, what I say. Of course, it helps to come there, of course. And that's what he means in this moment, how it is.
So I will give the example. When the Karl Marx is presenting his communism, he told, when the whole world become communist, you will understand. Till you have to try. You can't concept. Till that you have to believe me. So that Russia and all countries went and told it is a good philosophy. It's a good thesis, and they went there. And in our early age, we thought that whole world will become communist.
It is hard time.
Whatever it may be.
Okay.
But when it collapsed, and then it's just a concept. And the world is maybe 30% of the world population believe once everything become communist, you are going to get the result. Till that you have to fight for the revolution and evolution. And antima saranata sarasiyavu dan itin nagitiyavu badagin moga saaginde sadukin pelenawun dan itin nagitiyavu antima saranata sarasiyavu nyaw kinawa. So that is how they provoke the people. So why not the Buddha? Buddha also doing the same mistake if it is not provable within this life. That is why the Buddha says in the Satipatthana Sutta, maximum 7 years I am asking, not much time, no more than that.
Again, combined to that, I want to ask one question. I saw Ajahn Chah had written a wonderful thing. He said he took to Kodalika two sticks and ride each other. And some people ride each other until they get fire. And some people, their legs in their middle, they stop and make a rest. And again after 5 minutes, again starting to ride. And again stop, again start to ride. And some people, they just ride it until they get fire. And he said, when you make a break, you will never get fire there. What can you...
So you see, it's a very classic example given in the Visuddhimagga, Uttarrani and Adarrani. That is the only method earlier it was before the box of matches invented. And people hold a stick with a glue. The other one is a stick and you are rubbing against. And while rubbing, the heat increases. So when the smoke comes and the fire about to come, you feel so tired in your shoulders and everything, so you feel like giving up. And if that is the case, what happens is all developed heat will go back natural, and next time when you go there, nothing left. So that is why that when you are rubbing against each other for fire, you have to work to the maximum. That is called in as far as the virya, that this is given example for the virya, it says paripurna virya, the fulfilling energy.
Virya means effort.
Fulfilling energy that many don't have. They have half-hearted faith, half-hearted energy, so daily they go up to a certain extent and then feel weird off. A very classic example given, very classic, how do you call that, this thing given, there was a oval-shaped ground, and one person living by there came out with the problem of weak heart. So doctor asked, daily walk around the oval-shaped ground. Nothing like on hold. So he is starting from end and then daily walking. After he becoming 60, when he go up to this point, he feels so tired, telling that I can't complete, he came back again.
Very nice. Beautiful.
I have no energy to complete the whole.
We cannot come back.
I mean, exactly he is doing with the defeated mentality. Whether he come from the same way or other way, exactly the same. If he is breaking this even to this side, he will come here and he will feel hilarious, even after 60 I can do it. So that is why the Buddha says, unless otherwise your momentary critical thing here, the whole cycle is completely different.
It's a very nice example.
So we people, I call it Hoda Madira. I don't know how to put it.
No. When you wash clothes and you again put that in the mud, and again you start something like that.
This is the way our life is. We are amusing ourselves. We are half-hearted ourselves, so much so we are being punished. The moment you take the decision here, at the critical point, whether I go back here or this way, exactly the same cost. But if you the change or the carry out at this moment makes such a big difference. So that's called the virya 3 levels: Arambha dhatu, Nikkama dhatu, Parakkama dhatu. So Aradha virya, Paripurna virya, Paggahita virya, Paripurna virya. Arambha dhatu everyone has. That is why we come here. No one asked someone to come. We came by our initiative, and we are in the halfway according to our, how do you call that, the gut feeling, according to our investment. That very rarely one go to the other end, they have the Paripurna Vidya, they have no fulfilling energy, 1001 excuses. And therefore it says that ලේසියටත් පහසුවටත් දැන වැරදි කරනවා. එහෙම වුණත් කියන්නටත් නිදහසටත් කියන්න කරුණු තියෙනවා නැත්නම් හදලා කියනවා.
Can we translate? As maybe no sleep until...
No. There's a one in Sri Lanka. There's a kind of a song called Baila. Baila, I don't know how to. It's a kind of a
Portuguese method.
And it says many people do the mistakes knowingly Because it is easy. The wrong path is easy. But anyway, if someone asks why you are doing this thing, they have 1,001 reasons to tell and justify what they do. At the case of failure, he make reasons. He's so masters in making reasons why we are not meditating.
So then, Swamiraja, when you, like the example with the fire with the two sticks, if you stop learning, it's not going to dissolve if you stop. And also, I think, especially when it comes to learning in meditation, it is also important to change your strategy from time to time. Otherwise, it will just happen that at first the learning accumulation will be very high, and then the learning curve will go basically up, and then you will come to a point where it's just knowledge ossification if you don't change your strategy. So that's why I don't think that example really applies to learning, because it won't dissolve once you stop. As Rana said earlier, it's just that you will view things differently and you will have a more sharp view in everyday life. But once you continue from that point, it's not like the heat that is going away with the two sticks.
That you can say that worldly knowledge it's a linear method, but this is the final thing also have some bearing. Those who are good in academic career easily communicate this idea, and they know after a while understand mistake is not outside, it is within me. So one day they tighten their belts and go. So therefore the learning has some kind of thing. But as far as the meditative experience is concerned, direct experience is concerned, that is ultimately depend on your under the nose experience. It is an electric thing. At the time it happens, otherwise not. You can't, there is no gradual process at this moment. When you are deciding whether to go this way and that way, it's something electric. It's something overall and decide the whole system. So likewise in the how do you call this, direct touch is concerned. Meditation is, meditative experience is concerned, not like the analytical, not like the theory, it is something electric. It's the commentator, it says, example, there's a river and this side is dangerous, this side is how do you call it, no danger. So the person is coming running because some people chasing behind him, and he come here and see it's a huge water body. He don't know how to swim. But anyway, if he can go there, the how do you call it? Shema Bhumi again was? Oasis. Or sanction. So what he sees, there are some trees coming from both the sides, and one tree come up to this side halfway, and there's a wire thread hanging. So with the risk, he jumps from here to this, like a Tarzan jump, and then it starts to swing. At the end of the swing, he has to give up the rope, and then he will fall down on this bank. At this critical moment, if he is not giving up, again the same rope will bring him back to this end. And again he will get a chance, but second time is not like the first chance, becoming weaker. More and more you take the chance, ultimately he will drop in the deepest point of the river. So as far as you are holding, when it is at the maximum beneficial point, you have to give up. There no one can teach you. We have to give up, and how to give up, and what will happen, you will fall down. Everything is a risk. So therefore, as far as the meditation experience is concerned, it is such an electric thing. It is such a risk. It is such an uncertainty. So that is why the Buddha says, don't compromise it for another person. You can't justify it. It is not the rational way. That is why he says you have to have a lion-like idea, lion-like mind. Sakya Singha, Sakya Putra, Sakya Dita. So that happens when you keep on practicing, you accumulate your own vigor, you accumulate your own energy, and that is a part and parcel of the correct path. The wrong path sometimes discharge you and become discouraged and kind of thing. But trial and error is the only method available. Even the Buddha, in his last life, 6 years, he went for his self-mortification, and we can find fault with telling that with that much of merits, that much of perfection, that much of correct intentions. Why is that? But he never accused himself. He says, darling, you have nothing to do. I have explained. I have given, assimilated the correct path. Throughout.
I have a practical question. How to accumulate energy and find your own way? Because we always need to listen to other people's advices, recommendations, or just learning.
So that is why, as far as the accumulation is concerned, as far as the brevity is concerned, your noble friends is, how do you call, they cannot be overemphasized.
Yeah, I understand, but noble friends is to find somebody who you can 100% trust, yes?
No, at the beginning not.
At the beginning.
As you can get the relatively is more morally responsible than you. As far as the concentration is concerned, he is having a little bit concentration than you. He is having the wisdom little bit than of you, that is enough. You trust upon that, and when you go on, you may be exposed to yet another good noble friends, spiritual friends. There's kind of the momentum. Just like habitual people get into more and more deep layers of habits and the addictions. Exactly the same way, good way, positive side. When you are practicing, you are bound to meet more and more refined people, cultured people, uplifted people. And at the beginning, don't expect the maximum, theoretical maximum person. Get what is the close by, have a hope there, do up to that level. And then when you go there, it will be another more good options. Time to come.
You have to be in the club, no?
Yeah.
You have to be in the club like, temples and good people, That's necessary.
Sometimes they appear like a cult groups. We have the same interests and we often come together and go there and we maintain our trust each other. And everyone is not at the higher level, but in the club you can find another person little bit better than you. That's enough. Don't expect the theoretical maximum.
So just came to my mind that you say always Swapatveva. To understand this word, it took me a long time until I get to know that I'm sick. And how it's important for all of us to know that we are sick. Then only we see the suffering, and then only we are interested to visit the doctor, and then only we have a chance to take the medicine. And most of us, we cannot recognize that we are sick, and we are thinking we are healthy, we don't have any problem. And then of course it's not qualified for us to, or I don't know what's the word, suitable. We are breaking the way to reach to Dhamma or to reach to maybe this teaching of the Buddha.
So if you are put this whole your talk into singularity, I are perfect. When you are talking about us, you are a cancer to the society. Don't talk in their plural terms.
What does it mean?
I am sick, so I have to find, don't tell he is sick. You are asking for this.
No.
So therefore you don't say, we are sick.
Okay.
You have to put it in the singular form. So that is a secret. Keep it to hold your life. Don't put others into your boat. So Buddha says, mind your own business.
Of course.
I mean, it is saving so much of time and so much of envy. And therefore you say, I am sick. I take the Buddha as the teacher. But I can say, why don't you do? But don't say you are sick. This is dangerous. Even to your child, even to your mother, even to your the teacher, that is the thing I find the most dangerous thing in our spiritual life. Don't measure others.
I got already experience and I just kept silent.
So therefore, always you have your own rights to say, I am vulnerable, I have sicknesses, I have weaknesses, I am searching for.
Yeah.
So no one can challenge you. The moment you are going to put into the plural terms, that is what the religion means.
It's a very important point.
So when I started the meditation in my 26, we had elderly lay people, they say, hide yourself as much as possible, don't expose telling that I am a meditator. Hide yourself as much as possible, don't expose telling that I am a morally concerned. Hide yourself as much as possible, whatever the concentration you have, just behave like a man. Otherwise this world, you are provoking the world by giving unwanted philosophy. But you can have your own. We have rights. So therefore, 8 years, I try my best to be mindful. Even my family members do not know. Even my university batchmates, they do not know. Imagine what a kind of a tricky life. And that is the best of my life. That is why I am happy monk. Close your all good qualities, behave like a man, like a citizen John, like a Ciribitis. No, Ciribitis in the Joker, and in the English it is called you are just a citizen John, nothing special.
But sometimes Mara comes and say, yeah.
So when the Mara comes, ask him to sit and have a cup of tea. Green tea. Why not? If the Buddha says, if the raga comes, you have to understand raga as raga. When the hatred comes, you have to understand the hatred as hatred. Why not the Mara? The Buddha says, moment you recognize the Mara, he loses the power. If you are going to run away, then he will chase behind. So just confront. Which is difficult, but I mean, that is the way you can put in the... So I am experiencing with you also. Mara. Whenever I meet someone, I know that I am to be careful. When I am in my meditation, it's a comfort. So it appears like very selfish. But that is the only way you can have substantial amount of experience. And this very sutta we are discussing, the Buddha says, if you want to protect yourself, episode goes, the teacher says, the disciple, please protect me, I will protect you. Then the disciple says, no sir, the best way is you mind your own business, I will mind mine, and then we protect each other like that. So the Buddha says, I am appreciating the disciple. So if you wish to protect yourself, do mindful meditation or Satipatthana. And Buddha says, if you do if you wish to protect others, guard yourself according to mindfulness. So therefore, protecting oneself means protecting others. As far as you keep the mindfulness as your forefront theory.
The way it doesn't work, no?
It seems like in the railway station what you said in Sri Lanka.
So that once you develop, once you understand the ways that you can protect yourself, safeguard yourself, I mean every person is something like you. So you can understand why other people are vulnerable.
And the other thing is, the feeling world is only with you. No, I can't plug into somebody else's feeling.
We feel that we have a feeling for children, we are feeling for the culture. Buddha says that is just to foster your ego. Whatever may be the projections you are putting, you are fostering your ego, that you are putting yourself in the high pedestal and start fight pushing in terms of your children, in terms of your religion, in terms of your culture and everything.
But sometimes I feel this all the, even good or bad, we have to experience it ourselves, and then you know it's bad, it's good. Then you can choose the way. What's bad, just let it. Even it's hard or unexpected, unpleasant, not pleasant, you have to let it. And
so that is what we call that choiceless awareness, that when the thing happens, it happens. whether it is good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant. So if we have a choiceless awareness, not with a premeditative ideas or value judgment, and that is the revolutionary thing the Buddha expect. He said that is what the mindfulness, that one meaning of mindfulness is choiceless awareness. You have to train it.
That middle gap, does it belong to a feeling world or a...
That it can be matter, feeling, perception, the sankhara, anything.
Cannot be named as a...
Different people tackle it in different ways. 5 ways are there, as are the clingings are also, 5 clingings.
Or is that all that necessary if you are in the middle, or it may be dull?
No, that is what the Buddha says, middle path. Without knowing the middle path, no progress. That is the very first statement he says, Dve me bhikkave anta pabbati sena nasevitabha kamasukalitana yoga attakīmatana yoga. The self-indulgence and the self-mortification, forget about, and then the middle path is there. That you have to assimilate this and there.
And not necessary to name it. It's in the feeling world or the panya world, not necessary.
Later you can understand, you reach it through matter, you reach it through feelings or fabrications or perception or your consciousness, that when it is happening, not necessary to understand the formula and how it happens and kind of thing. It's always a kind of a happening.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now about 1 hour and 30 minutes. So this is the last event of the day. Thank you very much for participation.